Hello everyone, this is Hurang. In this video I'm going to show you how to create a voice lab in GNS3. For that we're going to use Cisco Communication Manager Express and we're going to transfer it to a router in GNS3, and then from there we're going to configure some IP phones, and I'll show you how everything works. So for that you need to have GNS3 installed, and I'm gonna use the VirtualBox to play the role of here's my virtual machine. VirtualBox to play the role of Cisco phone for me. Now on this VirtualBox, we're going to install a Cisco IP communicator. Cisco IP communicator is a soft phone, Cisco soft phone that works somehow like a Cisco IP phone. Let's bring in a router first. The type of router that I'm going to use today is 3700. If you want to use 3600 or 7200, it's okay, they work. So first step, bring in the router, and I'm going to bring in cloud. Now some of you might say, why didn't you use this VirtualBox guest? The thing is, if you want to have few virtual machines running at the same time and install IP phone on each of them, sometimes it messes up the MAC addresses that are registered with the router. That's why I found it better to use a cloud and connect VirtualBox with this cloud to GNS3 rather than using this VirtualBox guest. But if you feel like using that and trying that, go ahead. If it works, fine. If no, then you can come and use this one. Okay, to give a kind of look and feel of IP phones, I'm going to change this symbol to IP phone. There you go. Right click on it, configure, and here click on C1. And from here, choose the number 2 that I'm using, add that, okay. And then connect this to the router. Now, it is connected to fast Ethernet 0/0 of this router. Now, another thing that I want to do, as I said, I'm going to transfer a Cisco Communication Manager Express to this router. So we need more space on the flash memory of this router. So right click on it, configure, and here on the router, memories and disks, change the size of this memory. For example, here I'm going to change this size to 128 megabytes. And then click OK. Now right click on your router, start it, and then right click, console. Okay, let's go in and configure the first interface. Actually, we're gonna use only one interface. So interface fast Ethernet 0/0. IP address will be 192.168.1.255.255.255.0, and I forgot to write IP address at the beginning. And then no shot to bring the interface up. Okay, so next step is configuring this router to be our DHCP server, because we need to assign IP addresses to our phones. So this router will be your DHCP server as well. Now, if you like to add a server to work as a DHCP server for you, that's fine, go ahead. But I'm just going to keep this one simple, so I configure that DHCP server on this router. To configure that, the first step is to exclude the IP addresses that we don't want to assign to our clients. So first step, IP DHCP exclude addresses 192.168.1.1. I don't want to assign this one because I already gave it to the router. And let's say 192.168.1.5. So IP addresses from 1 to 5 will not be assigned to any of the clients. Next, we're gonna create a pool for our DHCP server. So IP DHCP pool, and the name, I say my pool. Okay, So in this pool, first our network has to be configured 192.168.1.0. This is our network. Next, the default router. So default router is 192.168.1.1. And one more thing that you have to configure here is option 150. So option 150 tells your phones where the TFTP server address is. So when the phones refer to this DHCP server and they want to receive an IP address, then the DHCP server tells the phones where to refer to download their firmware. And that's the address of TFTP server. In this case, it's the address of our router. So 192.168.1.1. Great, we're done with our DHCP server configurations. Let's exit out of this and let's go and see if we have assigned IP addresses to the computers. Okay, no, it hasn't received anything, so I click on repair. It's gonna communicate with my router and receive one IP address. Okay, done. So if you have the same issue, you can follow the same steps. Click on your network card and the support, repair, and receive a new IP address. As you can see here, .6 is assigned to this computer. Okay, so now let's go back to the router. I have to prepare this router so that I can transfer the file to the flash memory of this router. There are a few commands that we have typed here: erase the flash memory and then format it and then transfer the file. If you're using different type of router, you might not have these commands supported. So if you, for example, you tried erase or format and format flash, right? Erase flash, and it doesn't work, don't worry about it. Just skip that step and go to the next step. With that said, let's go to privilege mode and we start erase flash. We're gonna erase this flash. So it's gonna ask, are you sure? And we say yes. So this is gonna take a while, and I'm gonna pause the video. Once it erases the flash, I come back. Okay, it took 4 minutes to erase the flash memory. Now next I have to format it. So format flash. This one's gonna be very quick. So now that our router is ready, we go to the virtual machine, and I'm gonna use this one. We go to virtual machine, our virtual machine, and here first I have to install a TFTP server, so that with that TFTP server I can transfer the communication manager express to the router. So the TFTP server that I'm using here is TFTP32. It's a free application. You can download it and install it very easily. After installation, run it. Now by default, the current directory is C program files TFTPD32, but my files are in C drive VoIP tools, so I have to change this folder. And click on browse. There you go, C drive. Now the TFTP is ready. What I'm gonna transfer here is these files. So let me explain what I've done here with these files. I have the two version of Communication Manager Express, version 4 and 7. I'm gonna use version 4. Now if you look at this version 4, it is 65 megabyte. It's a pretty big file. Now this is a zip file. If I right click on it and I open the file, here under this zip file, under the phone directory, you can see here we have a lot of phones here. All of these directories are firmware of these different types of phones. Now I don't need all these, so what I did here, I went in and I deleted some of them. So As you can see here, what I kept here are just these two phones. So you can easily just click on the phone, press delete, and then delete that file from the zip file. You don't need to open it, delete, and zip archive it again. So now I have this small file. At least it's like 6 times smaller. This is 10 megabyte. Now I'm going to transfer this file to the router. So I need to take this name, and then we go to our router. Now here we have to transfer that file, extract it from TFTP server. So to do that, I use archive command. Now after archive, it asks what type of file you're transferring. It's a tar file, and I'm gonna extract it. Extract from TFTP : // Now what is the IP address? That's the IP address of this machine, 192.168.1.6. So here I have 192.168.1.6 / and then the name of the file. So here's the name of the file, and space. Now I say transfer it to flash, and as you can see here, the transfer started. Transferring this file from that TFTP server to this router. This is gonna take a while, longer, like probably about 10 to 15 minutes. So I'll pause the video again. Once it's done, I come back. Alright, so now the file transfer is completed, and we have successfully transferred this Communication Manager Express to the router. And now I can just go ahead and configure the Communication Manager CME, and then after that install the cell phones on my virtual machine and see how they communicate. Let's go and configure everything. Now in global configurations, telephony service. First, there are 3 things that you have to configure here. First is IP source address. This tells the phone where their brain is, where the communication, all the communication processing is happening. So IP source address, it's 192.168.1.1. That's the IP address of your router, and the port is 2000. So we're telling those phones to communicate with this IP address through that port. Next, maximum number of maximum directory numbers that you have in your directory. How many numbers do you want to have? Let's say in this case I say 10 numbers. And then max e-phones. How many phones you want to have? Let's say 10, or you can have more or less. Okay. So now we're done with that. Let's exit, and in privilege mode we type show ePhone. No phones registered yet. Okay, let's go to virtual machine and let's install Cisco IP Communicator. The installation is pretty straightforward. It's again all windows that you have to click next, and finish installation. So I'm gonna pause the video because nothing significant here. I'm gonna pause the video. I'll install this and then I'll be back. Okay, so now this is the last window. Finish. And next, let's run it. When you start the Cisco IP Communicator for the first time, it just wants to test some of the audio devices that you have. Your microphone, your headset. So there is the play, stop, next, test, stop, next, and finish. Now when you test all this stuff, sometimes you might get some pop-up menus, pop-up windows from your firewall that ask you, do you want to allow this application to get access to the internet or anything else. So you just unblock it and let it access wherever you're gonna go. Okay, this is one phone, and let's run the other phone on the other virtual machine. Here is the second phone. Let's go back to this virtual machine and see how our phone is booting up. Okay, so now the second phone is coming up. Okay, now you can see here it's communicated with TFTP server, and then there you go. So the second phone is up as well. Let's go to our router. Now you see here on the router we got some messages that this ePhone came up and the second ePhone came up. Now if I type show ePhone, this time I can see there are two phones. The two phones that I started, they are now registered here. So here you can see these are the MAC addresses of the phones, the IP addresses, but they don't have any phone number. We're gonna give them assign the IP, the phone number to these phones now. Let's go to global configurations and first directory number. So we go to ePhone DN1 and we assign a number to this. So the number is gonna be let's say 2001 exit ePhone DN2. This is the second number in your directory numbers, and here number will be 2002 and so on. You can configure everything in this way. Okay, now I want to type that show ePhone one more time because I want to look at the MAC addresses of these phones. I need them now. Now let's configure the first ePhone. So ePhone 1. MAC address of the first ePhone is gonna be this one. So that's the MAC address, and then the first button on that phone. If you look at this phone, it has like 8 buttons. Now this first button, if you assign a number to that, that will be your first line. So here button 1 will have the first number in our directory list, and then after that I'm going to reset the phone. Now the phone is resetting. Which phone is that? Okay, it's this phone. Now this phone is resetting. So okay, I registered the IP phone 2 with the first MAC address. It's okay, doesn't matter. Let's go back to the router and let's wait for this phone to come up. And here is the first number. Let's go back to our router. Now I want the MAC address of this phone. So exit here, ePhone 2 MAC address will be this, and button 1 of this phone has the second number, and then reset the phone. Now I don't need this router. Let's send it down and bring up this phone. As you can see here, now this phone is booting up. I'm gonna keep both of them here in my window so that we can see both phones. Now this reset is a very quick boot up, but since my system is a bit slow now, it takes a while for this phone to come up. Now if this phone comes up, you will see the number 2002 is assigned here. Okay, let's try. Now I'm gonna dial 2001, and you can see here the other phone is ringing, and we're gonna answer this phone. Let's click on answer. Okay, so both are communicating now, and then after that you can click here, end call, and end conversation. Okay, so that's how that you can configure a voice lab in GNS3. I hope this video is helpful to you, and thank you for watching.